it's about education, it's about improving living standards. We measure the success of our economies and our peoples by the GDP per capita. And one way to do that is through mining, and everybody has to benefit from it, including the people who put up the money that Sandy was talking about before. These people put up huge sums of money at great risk to allow these developments to go ahead. So they have to benefit from it as well, otherwise the money dries up. I'll talk about the multiplier effect later on when I do my case study. But basically, the IMF estimated some years ago that for every dollar invested in mining around the world, you'll get 4 times that growth in the economy. So every dollar that's spent in construction, every dollar that's spent in operations on that project, Didipio or Tempakan or wherever else, you get 4 times that flow-on effect throughout the economy. So that's just in direct money income. Also, you have a 6-to-1 multiplier effect in employment. So when we're in operations at Didipio, we'll have some 500 employees. The direct increase in employment from that project will be some 3,000 people. Just a few holiday snaps of Didipio just to prove to you that it is real. This is the road upgrade, the mill shells coming in from overseas. That was last year, all that work. We have I might just use this. No, it's too far away. Okay, some more shots. Generators coming in, crushers, concrete works and steel works being put up. That was last year. The TSF construction is started with the screening and aggregate plant there. Some more shots of the concrete works ongoing. That's the flotation plant on the right-hand side. The foundations for that. And in the middle there is a shot showing the start of development. So it's all systems go up there at the Didipio, which I'm very pleased to say. And we're looking forward to its production next year. And then we want to build it for bigger because there's huge potential at the Didipio and its surrounds for discovery and development of more copper-gold resources. We plan to increase our throughput to 5 million tonne by 2016, producing 150,000 ounces of gold and 20,000 tonnes of copper, just by the addition of more plant. No new mining plant, no new TSF, no new infrastructure, just some more processing plant. So that will increase the benefit to all of our stakeholders with a minimal capital expenditure. So we're looking forward to developing that over the next couple of years. The exploration potential at the Didipio, like many parts of the Philippines, is huge. And there are 2 or 3 other porphyries that we've identified in and around the Didipio area, which is showing strong geochemical soil signatures. We've got our exploration team established, and we've got our head of exploration here sitting, waiting, eager to get the drills running. We plan to spend around $10 million a year on our exploration, which is not an insignificant sum of money. And with that exploration and ongoing commitment to exploration, we certainly expect the Didipio to be there operating, producing gold and copper, producing lots of benefits for all of our stakeholders for many decades to come. And then the Philippines, OceanaGold has 22 tenements in play. Highly prospective areas. The company's been in the Philippines for many years. Some of these tenements have been granted, some of them are under application. Some of them are held up in the department, as many of you would be aware. And we want to use Didipio as the platform for growth in the Philippines. OceanaGold is here for the long term, and we want to develop more high-quality, world-class, environmentally responsible mining projects to world's best standards. We also, in doing so, we want to help develop the mining industry in this country. I mentioned before about our culture of sustainability. Now, New Zealand is not an easy jurisdiction to do mining. We've been there 20 years, and we have an excellent track record in environmental management. We actively deliver health, environment and social community programs to remote communities in the Philippines, but also in New Zealand, where we participate with local community sponsorship and support. Our commitment to sustainable economic growth is firm and strong, and we will continue to build our mines and operate our operations in that way for many years to come. Our community programs in the Philippines include medical missions, where we've had over 30 missions sponsored, bringing medical, dental and optical assistance to these remote communities around Didipio. Over 8,600 people have benefited from these medical missions. Our scholarships over the last 5 years have been numbered 157, awarded to people just from the Didipio Valley, and 41 have graduated with university degrees. Some of those now work for us. Our anti-malarial programs, in partnership with the Global Fund Movement Against Malaria, has reduced malaria by 95% in the Didipio Valley since 2006. We're heavily involved in reforestation programs, a tree nursery program. We've planted over 200,000 trees, over 100 hectares in the last 5 years. We've planted disease-resistant banana plantations to help develop the agricultural industry in our area. We've also provided clean water systems for the people of Didipio, whose water has been contaminated by small-scale mining. Our model for community partnership is one of fourfold. There's the Didipio Community Development Corporation, which really focuses on developing business opportunities for our people. The Social Development Management Plan, which is dictated by the government and thoroughly embraced by our company. There's an agreement with the local council, the Memorandum of Agreement, about how benefits and commitments are made and shared. And there's the Community Engagement and Grievance Plan and Procedure. The SDMP is mandated under the FTAA as 1.5% of operating costs, focuses on the usual things that government are involved with: health, education, infrastructure, public safety, livelihood, environment, sport and culture. This is valued at about $1.5 to $2 million a year, and we've agreed the split of those funds with the host community, Didipio, with neighbouring barangays, so the barangays or villages that sit around the district, numbering in 8, the municipality of Kasabu, the municipality of Carino, and a common fund for shared use. This agreement was signed in January of this year, and everybody is in support of it. The host community, I won't bore you with the details here, but they will receive, if the national government does its bit, 14% of taxes collected by the national government. They have first in preference in employment. They have capital works in the MOA, including a high school, roads, sports centre, and continued university scholarships and teacher support. The neighbouring communities, both upstream and downstream of the mine and along the access roads, combined will receive 45% of these funds every year. That amounts to about 2 million pesos per year for the social development projects, which triples their income, so they don't get a lot at the moment. And they have second preference in employment, and they also benefit from improved infrastructure, etc. The Community Development Corporation consists of the shareholders are the long-term residents of Didipio. It's modelled on similar projects and corporations in Papua New Guinea and in northern Canada. We've already awarded contracts to that corporation, and over the life of the mine it will constitute many tens of millions of dollars and offering many jobs to the people from that community. So sustainable development really means providing an economy, and a growing economy, well after the mine is shut down. And that's what those business development opportunities are about, and that's certainly our objective. The other important part about developing a project in anywhere in the world, but particularly in places like Didipio, is that you employ people who get it, people who understand the cultural sensitivities, people who understand why they're there, people who are committed to doing a good job and to doing it to the highest standards, and people who can work with others. There are different types of people in the world, and you've always got to make sure that you get the people who get it. So we put a lot of effort into recruiting the right people and making sure they're given the tools and training to carry out their work in a harmonious way. So, enough about Oceana Gold. The Philippines. A quick snapshot of the Philippines. We all know it well. Over 80 mineral mines in the Philippines. It's very highly prospective for copper and gold. In fact, I think everyone would tell you that the Philippines is probably the most prospective country for copper in the world. There has, however, been minimal exploration in the last 30 years, which meant that the copper reserves in the Philippines have stagnated. 4.6 billion tonnes of copper reserves, still a big number, but it has stagnated. That figure was 1996. Employment of around 200,000 people, taxes paid 215 million. Mining investments in the 6 years up to 2010, $3.8 billion. 50 million committed by mining companies to social development management plans over that period, to 700 barangays who benefit from that. So it's not an insignificant industry in the Philippines. We all know that, and we certainly would like it to grow further. The fact is it hasn't grown much in the last 30 years. Let me show you another country, Chile. Chile was one of the poorest countries in South America in the 70s and early 80s. Escondida was discovered in the late 80s, and the government changed their mining policy, which attracted foreign investment from large mining companies into that country. The government's clear policy was to develop their country on the back of a strong mining industry. They now have over 220 mineral mines. The top mineral exports are copper, iron ore, gold and silver. The copper investment over the next 5 years is estimated to be $50 billion. Now compare that to the $4 billion here in the Philippines. They are the largest copper producer in the world. 35% of the world's copper comes out of Chile. This is all in the last 20 years, might add. Mining exports are 47% of the total Chilean exports, and the GDP contribution has risen from 7% to 16%. The GDP contribution has risen to 16% in 2009 and is still rising. They have the highest nominal GDP per capita in Latin America, all because of the mining industry. So clearly, Chile has been a success story through their engagement and embracing a strong, well-regulated, good policy-driven mining industry. The copper reserves in Chile now are 190 billion tonnes. Now compare that to the Philippines, 4.6 billion. And the 6-year forward mining investment, as I said before, is $50 billion. Some of the stats are very impressive. And what they are doing is matching the geological potential of the country with good government policy and strong governance. 37% of foreign investment in that country is from mining. Foreign investment is from mining. The mining direct employment increased threefold from 80,000 people to 220,000 people over 15 years. But using the multiplier effect, which we know is real, is 6.5 times more people are employed than the direct number. That translates to over 1 million additional jobs being created in Chile over a 15-year period from mining. That's around 16% increase of the total workforce of the country. And now they're the highest GDP per capita of any South American country. It truly is an impressive result.